Hey everyone, this is Rohit, and in this video, I'm going to share my views on how to prepare for Google interviews. So, why should you listen to me? I have given all the rounds of Google interview and also shared that experience, so you can watch that video by clicking on the top right corner. And the like target of this video is 20 likes, so hit the like button. If you like more such content, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. The subscriber target is 100 subs. This video is going to focus on L3 and L4. L3 is for SD1 and L4 is for SD2, which would have the same type of rounds. The only difference is the years of experience, and there are cases where if you give an interview for L4 role, you might be down level to L3 if your interview performance is not up to the mark. So let's talk about general tips that you can follow. Tip number 1. Prioritize the question as per most likely asked questions. This is a website, AlgoMonster, not sponsored by the way, where it shows the possibility of question types that can be asked in the interview. As you can see here, that these are multiple companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google. So, as you can see that the DFS problems are more common in Google than binary search problems. So I'll link this URL in the description below so you can check out the website. It's completely free by the way. So you can use this as a reference to prioritize your study plans. You can look at this return on investment table as well. It shows you what topics and what is the difficulty to learn as well as the return on investments. But just use this as a reference table though. And you can see how Google is. So even the AlgoMonster website is saying that. So you can see that some problems require more than one pattern, like prefix sum plus binary search or DFS plus prefix sum. So you have to be very familiar with the basic patterns. Tip 2. Go breadthwise. Make sure that you go breadthwise. So instead of solving 50 dynamic programming problems, just solve the core dynamic programming problems and move on to other topics like trees and graphs. I have personally realized that if I tend to prepare for a particular topic more, I would be biased to use that algorithm or technique more likely to a new question that I'm trying to solve. Focusing on one topic too much can cause you to feel underprepared in other topics as well. So to get yourself to think out of the box, you would understand the importance of this next advice, which is a single question and multiple algorithms. Remember that Google loves to ask you questions that have multiple algorithms that can be used to get the optimal solutions. This is especially true for the on-site technical rounds. Example, if you have been given an interval problem where you have to use a basic merge interval solution alongside with a binary search, or you would have to use a DFS algorithm with a dynamic approach or a DFS with min-max algorithm. These types of questions are generally asked in LeetCodeHard section, so make sure that you are used to seeing these types of questions. Tip 4. Time management. Time management is very important and your speed is essential in the technical coding rounds. This is because Google has the shortest interview time, which is 45 minutes, which includes the first 2 to 3 minutes of introduction and last 5 minutes for asking questions to the interviewer. So the total time remaining you get for the technical part is just 30 to 35 minutes. I would advise to keep your introduction as short as possible so that you can save some time for problem solving. So let's talk about the general flow of the technical interview. For the first 1 to 2 minutes are the introduction and the interviewer also explaining the bird's eye view of the interview format. Sometimes the interviewer would skip their introduction as well, so don't be surprised if they do so. You can also ask a number of questions that might be in this round, but this is something I felt personally that if I could have asked the interviewer, I could have understand the time constraint for each questions. There are scenarios where you get stuck in one questions and you keep thinking and the interviewer actually wanted to ask you more than one question. For the next 30 to 35 minutes, now once you are given the question, here are a few tips that can help you to improve your chances. Make sure that you ask the interviewer for a couple of examples and also ask the constraint if you have not received that. Usually the questions are vague on purpose, so make sure you ask questions and handle corner cases. When you think of any solutions, you can let the interviewer know about your thought process by thinking out loud. So make sure you don't sit quiet. After explaining the thought process and you got a buy-in from the interviewer, that you can start writing the code. A super helpful tip is that you can assume a helper method are already present there. Like assuming that you need a function which does some parsing for the inputs and it is not the core part of algorithm, you can just assume that the function exists and you can notify the interviewer that you are assuming that this function exists. This can help you save a ton of time as you don't need to write helper methods which are not even the part of the core algorithm. algorithm that the interviewer is interested in. After you have written the core part of the algorithm, make sure you do a line-by-line self-code review to avoid typos and or corner case checks. At the end, do give the interviewer confidence that the code is running. At the end, do a dry run of the code on few inputs which cover the corner cases as well. This will give the interviewer confidence that the code is running. Now do all this again for the second question. For the interview format, you can get any patterns like 1 hard and 1 easy, or 1 hard only, or 2 medium only, or 1 medium, 1 easy. Anything can happen, and this is where luck plays a major role. For the final 5 minutes of the interview, you can ask them any questions regarding Google as a company or questions on the workplace. This is the part where you are interviewing them. So use this time well and ask them any questions that can help you in making the decision of whether you would like to join that company or not. General flow of the behavioral/Googliness interview. For the first 5 minutes, give your introduction, and let the interviewer also give their introduction. So here the evaluation criteria is don't be a jerk, don't be evil, and prepare good stories that you can share with the interviewer based on your past experience, which showcase that you are kind, considerate person who can work with the team. Within 5 to 40 minutes of the interview, the interviewer will ask you behavioral questions and try to answer them in a star format. If you don't know about star format, comment down below. I can make another video on that. This can help you frame your answer in a short, concise manner, which helps the interviewer to understand quickly. There are certain scenarios where the interviewer will try to contradict what you say to understand how you react to that, and if you are a person who are willing to hear the person in front of you or not. They can do things like join the interview late on purpose to see your reaction. So make sure that you are mentally prepared for these scenarios. The behavioral round is the easiest round of all the rounds Google has, so long as you don't give very bad signals in this round. I doubt you would get a no hire here. For the last 5 minutes, ask the interviewer behavioral questions. There is a website called Interview Handbook. You can pick some behavioral questions from there and you can ask them in this round. It will help them know that you have prepared well for this round and you can understand the leadership side of the company as well. That's all for this video. I hope you like it. I'm planning on making a series on preparation videos similar to this. So comment down below which company should I make a preparation video on. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such content.